What's going on YouTube? Dylan McMillan here. Going to do a little bit of talking today due to the fact that I am holding footage from you guys. Sadly and happily that we have a couple major tournaments coming up, and I do not want to post this stuff because you have people that will look at the footage, they will see where I am at, and then I will see them there the next tournament. So unfortunately, I will have to hold this stuff. Everybody does it, so it's not that alarming, but I do want to tell you guys personally that I am holding that footage. So I am going to talk about how I've been catching them, where, you know, north or south that I've been catching them as well. And just kind of doing a breakdown talk of what happened, instead of you seeing, you know, a lot of footage of just fish catches. Yeah, I'm gonna more so explain things to you. So we'll start off by let's do the Roland Martins series. So we had, and fast break series. So we'll start out fast break. It was the first tournament in December that we fished, and I did not post that video yet. So I have it all edited, ready to go out, but like I said, I do not want to post anything with the Toyota series coming up. You have the ABA 150, there's a lot of money on the line, and as a fisherman, that is what's most important to me, is making sure I capitalize on the money that's out there in the fishing industry. So fast break tournament, we did go south. I haven't fished the south end much in many years. I actually grew up on the south end. That's all I fished. I didn't even know what the north end looked like. Couldn't even tell you. Now, since I've moved out of Belglade, I moved up to Palm Bay. Obviously, Okeechobee is the nearest boat ramp to me. So in the past 6 years, I have mainly fished the north end. Obviously, I would go to the south end and fish down there when I heard the bites real good and that kind of thing. But in the past 2 years, my boat has not been down south without my brother Jared. You know, he fishes the whole lake entirely. He does a lot of time on the south end, about half and half, north and south. So we did go south. We threw, a couple different baits, from a chatterbait to other things that I am not ready to tell y'all. But the chatterbait was the biggest key. That is not a secret. It's never been a secret. I used a Gambler Komodo trailer. That is something that is, I hate disclosing it, but it's a good product, and I do want to represent them well. So the Gambler Komodo, I love it, man. I absolutely have to have one. I don't throw anything else on the back of my chatterbait except it. The reason why is because when you have a big tournament and you have a lot of boats out on the water, or if you don't, but mainly because you do have a lot of boats, it's a little bit more subtle. It's a little bit more subtle profile. It gives the bait not as, you have that jig that's vibrating, it's loud, it's obnoxious. But if you match that with like a, little swimmer or a little easy or anything like that has a paddle tail, now your bait is to the max of vibration. And with that Gambler Komodo, it's more subtle. It's just like your tail jiggles instead of vibrates. And I get a lot of bites behind power fishermen that are using paddle tail swim baits on the back of their chatterbaits. I get a lot of key bites that I feel like a lot of guys won't get because of that. So that was a huge player for us. We probably caught 75 fish that day. It was a pretty special day. We ended up weighing 25 pounds, and I think we finished fourth in that tournament. So still a great finish, 25 pounds on Lake Okeechobee. That's awesome. The next tournament that I can go in a little bit more depth about is the Roland Martins Marine Center Series Championship. So going into that event, we're kind of doing the same thing as the fast break tournament. First day we went down south, and that bite that we had the weekend before in the fast break $10,000 tournament was just completely gone. All of our big fish had moved off. We were only able to catch 12 pounds, and that was rough. We had one key bite, 6-pounder on a chatterbait, and it was probably less than a foot from being in the net before it threw it. It's pretty heartbreaking because with that 6-pounder, it was at least a 6, if not 7 pounds. But even with 6 pounds, it calls out a 2-pounder, and now we have, you know, 16 pounds, and we live to fight another day. We missed a check in this tournament by, I believe, 1.5 pounds, maybe 2 pounds. But so that fish would have gotten us a check. It would have kept us pumped up. Going into the second day, we did go up north and we fished a lot of the community holes. So we started in a giant community hole. We got a limit about 13, maybe 14 pounds, and we decided to leave. That was the mistake, leaving that area. There was just so many boats. It was just so hard to stay concentrated when you have guys that are coming, you know, within 5 feet of your motor on the back end of your boat. You know, you're looking up at the next guy saying, can I go left? Can I go right? I hate fishing like that. It sucks. So we got discouraged and left, and I know a couple people that absolutely smashed them there later on in the day. But we went and did our own thing. I had an area up north that I caught a bunch of bucks on in practice, no females, and we decided to go up there, and we kind of expanded off that. We actually started pitching some reeds, and my brother ended up catching like a 7-pounder. Ended up losing 1 over 3. It was probably bigger than that, but let's call it a 3-pounder, and he ended up breaking off on one as well. But I think that day we weighed in 18 or 19, 17, somewhere around there, 17 to 19 pounds, finishing about 2 pounds out of a check range. And that tournament, they absolutely smashed them again. But all in the community holes is where everything's kind of been going off. So kind of sucked. That's the biggest tournament of the year for us, buddy tournament fishermen. So that was a kick. We had finished the season pretty strong. There was one event that we couldn't fish as a part of our team that would have put us closer up in the points for the end of the year points race, but unfortunately I missed the first one. I was fishing the Toyota Series in Alabama, and then my brother missed the third one that we ended up finishing 10th in. Me and my buddy Chris finished 10th, but it did not go towards our team. So the next tournament that I can talk about is the King of the Glades. That one's January 7th tournament that just happened this past weekend. It was a smash fest for a lot of people. Us particularly, it was not. We caught 17.5 pounds. It took 33 pounds to win. So we were nowhere close. We didn't lose any big fish. We didn't lose any fish at all. Every fish that we had hooked up stayed hooked up, got it in the boat. But the weekend before, when I found this area in practice, I can disclose that it was up on the north end. It doesn't really matter about that, but I'm not going to say any names. But when I found it in practice, it was pretty awesome. We caught multiple big fish. Once we realized this was the area, we started shaking them off, and then we got out of there. But we had caught a lot of fish in there, a lot of bucks peeing, a lot of good females. So we were excited going into the tournament. We had a front pull in. The day before, it was a bunch of storms blowing like 30 miles an hour, and when we got up there, the water was still clean, thank God. But we still had 60 to 65 degree weather, overcast, rainy. It was pretty windy, and it ruined our frog bite. So we had caught everything the weekend before in a gambler popping frog, and we just could not replicate that bite in the morning. Plus there was about 15 guys, 15 to 20 boats that were already there before. Kind of killed our area as well. So, but the bite got better as the day went on, so we stayed in that area, and that's probably what hurt us. I probably should have ran to a couple of the other areas that we had found and we got bites on, but it's a tournament. You learn, you live, and going into the next one, it makes you a better fisherman. So we stuck it there. We ended up catching the 17 pounds. I think around 12 o'clock I caught a 6-pounder that really made us want to stay, and that's when the bite started turning on. But it's just all bucks. No females. I believe that weather made the females pull out, so that made it pretty difficult for us. But I have my next tournament's going to be the ABA on the 21st, the Sunday. So I am, like I said, I am saving some footage, and then in February I will do probably a couple videos a week, or yeah, probably a video a week. And so I have lost some content coming to you guys that are, you know, anxiously waiting, patiently waiting, I mean. So that's about all of the recap that I can do, that I feel comfortable telling everybody. There's a lot of stuff secretive, and there's a lot of stuff that is not a secret, and, you know, just gonna have 30-40 boats around you all day. But that's not what kind of fisherman I am. I like to be somewhere more discreet. There's a better feeling when you can go catch 30 pounds in an area that doesn't have any boats at all than going in one of those community holes and weighing in 25 pounds. At the end of the day, I am a fisherman, and I do it to try to make money. So I will go in those areas if need be, but I don't like to. And I don't think anybody does, but that's just how Okeechobee's set up. So yeah, that's pretty much all the tournaments that I haven't posted on my YouTube recently. So that's kind of a current situation there. So there's going to be some videos upcoming. I will, you know, post a couple clips from these areas. I just don't want to give it all away. So anyways, I appreciate you guys following along. Keep liking, commenting, and subscribing to my account, to my YouTube channel. It does really help. So I appreciate it, guys. Take care, and see you in the next video.